Gods did not dwell in temples. It was profitable to insist that prayers between polished walls were stronger, and that gods listened for the clatter of coin into offering bowls. A sweet lie for those lucky few whose gold could fill the temples to bursting, but a lie nonetheless. All prayers were equal, and a battlefield knew more prayer than a temple would ever hear. The birthing chambers, the sick houses, hungry homes in the dead of winter, gods heard their names on the lips of those who lacked. Food, survival, fortune, blood. A prayer is offered. Zajira almost lost grip on the man in front of her. The brewmaster was tall and round, a man who could not be moved while he was sober, nor halted when he was drugged. If he fell, she didn't know how long it would take to get him back up. Outside their narrow alley, the festival crowd was too busy to spare them a glance. The swampy little town of Jelana was a whirlwind of hopeful worshippers bickering over where to pitch their altars. The spirits of the godless mass were simple, animalistic things, and a good altar needed plenty of space to catch their attention. In a town like Jelana, there wasn't enough space to go around.
Forgive me, Father.
Zajira steered the brewmaster toward the rundown storehouses on the town's outskirts. They were too rotten to hold grain, and avoided by townsfolk who didn't want mites in their clothes. They would be torn down and replaced come springtime, but now was not springtime. No one would look for the brewmaster there. A prayer is offered. The call buzzed in Zajira's ear like a mosquito.
I'm move. I'm going to.
Brewmaster Safa.
Zajira cursed. The brewmaster was shaking off the haze, and a good portion of the drug now lay splattered across her feet. She couldn't give him more with a witness charging at them.
Brewmaster Safa. Your wife is looking for you. The family
Damn
altar...
you, boy. You...
He's drunk. I'd keep your boots at a distance if I were you. Sir, your wife?
I'll be with her in a moment. Just getting some candles. Oh. Hello. You're not from around here. Do I know you?
His eyes slid up Zajira's body for the second time that day. 20 years old, with bronze skin, black eyes, and locks pulled sensibly behind her head, Zajira might have passed as a local, if not for the fact she wore pants instead of a skirt.
You brought me back here, sir. Don't you remember?
Did I now? I suppose we'd better be alone then.
I'll have to tell the brewmistress, sir.
Ah, she has her side interests, I have mine. Now get out of here.
The boy sprinted off. A prayer is offered.
Now, why don't you remind me of your name? Oh.
Zajira grabbed his collar, searching for... there. His own leather pouch. The spirit inside let out an alarmed buzz. Sex, unusual, danger. That made her skin tingle.
Now, if you're worried about being judged, I assure you that my guardian spirit...
Zajira yanked the pouch off the brewmaster's neck to ensure its spirit had no claim to his soul. His mouth fell open in shock as she pulled out her own leather pouch. A prayer is offered. She pressed it to the brewmaster's collarbone and drew her dagger.
In the name of Calliopex.
Zajira slit his throat. The brewmaster didn't try to scream until his voice was already gone. He fell to his knees. She crouched next to him, her shy half-smile gone like mist in the sunlight. She never felt guilt over a kill, but there was always respect. Always the sense that prey deserved courtesy as it died. The collar of the brewmaster's tunic kept the blood from spraying too badly. His chest heaved. He reached out, perhaps to grab her, hadn't the strength. And then he was dead. A prayer is offered, mixed with pleasure, acceptance, the tithe is paid. But the moment was short. Zajira had another tithe to answer. She pressed the bloody amulet to her chest.
I am a blade to brandish.
A prayer is offered. The voices chorused, accompanied by the sensation of fingers clutching her heart. North. Nearby. Urgent. She looked towards the nearby storehouse, where she had planned to kill the brewmaster. It was too early to toss him in a pigpen, and time was too short for a burial, but laziness was a sin of the highest order. She couldn't leave him, but she could hide him. Zajira dragged the corpse inside by the feet. The storehouse was bare of any crates, barrels, or other convenient cover, but it did have a hayloft and a rickety ladder. She took the traveler's axe from her belt, rolled up her sleeves, and got to work chopping the brewmaster's legs off. With messy strikes that would make a butcher cringe, she had them off in 5 minutes, nearly 50 pounds each. Once they were in the hayloft, the rest of the corpse was much lighter. Zajira covered the mess with moldy hay and broke the ladder to pieces. The alley ground was churned from the dragging, but not overly bloody. The brewmaster's amulet lay discarded, but there was no spiritual energy when she picked it up. As expected, whatever spirit had inhabited the thing was long gone. Zajira pocketed the amulet to toss off the road when she departed. If the spirit changed its mind and decided to come home, she had to make sure it wouldn't find the body and alert others to the crime. North, chanted the whispers in her amulet. Hurry. The dirt grew softer and mossier as she left town, until eventually the buildings opened into wooded swampland. The sun was hidden by trees, their brittle, half-naked branches echoing like bones in a spirit rattle. A golden glow tried and failed to warm her skin. Late afternoon was turning fast to early evening. Jelana was a modest hamlet, built as a midway point for the dozen isolated farms, fisheries, and lumber mills scattered through the wetlands of Diabrak. Zajira's horse, a young Palomino mare called Blythe, waited at one of the many travel houses along the main road. Townsfolk were too busy with their altars to notice the departure of one horse and rider. Once the town disappeared behind them, Zajira grasped her amulet.
I am a blade to brandish.
North, nearby, off the road. A spirit hummed at the edge of her senses, there and gone again. Another rattled in the trees, while a third slithered along the road. She couldn't see them, but she could feel them like breezes against her skin, each drawn to Jelana like beasts to the smell of blood. The road was dry, but the ground beside it grew deeper and wetter as Zajira rode. Her amulet's call of north and slightly east turned into northeast, and eventually east and slightly north. With the sun setting, any ride through the wetlands would be difficult. Luckily, there was enough light to spot another horse and rider galloping from the west.